we'll be using the mirror command as well. So what we're going to focus on today is creating this ellipse. And then we're only going to create one of these, one of the four quadrants of this ellipse. So we'll do this little kind of kidney bean shape-ish and this circle. And then we're going to use our mirror command to get these other items in so we don't have to draw them more than once. So let's go ahead and start by creating our ellipse. And again, I'm going to make sure that I choose the right ellipse. I don't know the center, but I do know the information based off the axes at the end. So here's our axes. Drag that out 7.50. And draw our endpoint is 2.5. Because it's half of 5. There's our ellipse. And then let's go ahead and start with putting this circle in, because it's probably going to be the easier of the two. Make sure I didn't miss a measurement, which I may have. Let's see, it's down an inch. Oh, nope, we're good. So we know it's down an inch from this horizontal line, this horizontal center line. And we know from the center vertical line, it's going to be over 2.75. We're going to place it over here. So we're going to go to our circle and our diameter, and we're doing our snap from. Drag our cursor over, select the center point, do our @ symbol. So we know we need to move to the right 2.75, comma, and we're moving down 1.0, so negative 1.00, and that's the center point of that circle. And it looks like the diameter is 0.45. Okay. Now let's go ahead and get this piece in here. So we have to look at what we know. So as I'm looking at these measurements, this measurement here and this measurement here is showing me the center point of this radius 0.75. So that's the first thing that I'm going to put in, because that's what where I know the center point is. And from that center point, I can get this center point and this center point. So let's start with that one first. So we're going to do our radius. And I'm using, again, from here, because we're going to go over 1 and down 0.75 to get that center point. So drag my cursor over to get that center point to show. Do my @ symbol. And again, I'm moving to the right 1.00. And I'm moving down that 0.75, so negative 0.75. Whoops, I hit enter when I should not have. Again, sometimes that happens to the instructors too, so let's get that out of there. So do my circle, my snap from, do my @ symbol, 1.00, comma, negative 0.75. There's my center, and it looks like the radius is also 0.75. So this part of my circle here is this part right here, okay? So from that arc, so this is, if I had, I'm just going to draw a line for references here. You would not need to put these lines in, but I think it helps explain how I'm going to get those smaller circles in, okay? So when I look at this item right here, select it. That is that straight down line from my center point straight down, that which is 270 degrees. So from here all the way around to 270. That's this line here. So from this line over 0.25 is the center of this circle. So I'm going to go ahead and do my circle radius and see where that hits here. I'm just going to go ahead and put my radius in a 0.25. And I'm just going to move it that distance. So again, that center point right here. So that's right now, this is where my circle is. I'm going to move it over to that 0.25. So I'm just going to drag my cursor out to the left and type in 0.25. Okay. Hopefully that kind of makes a little sense here. I'm going to do the same thing here. And again, this is just really to help visualize. Let me put in my 0.25 circle here, radius, not circle, radius. So if I move this here, do the center point here. So this is where that circle is right now. I have to move it up 0.25 from there. So I'm just going to drag my cursor straight up and type in my 0.25. And get rid of that because that was just a help visualize. So this arc here is coming down, and then we hit the center point of this circle here. So what I have to do is get this arc and this arc in. Well, I know the distance from the escape there, this arc's endpoint to the radius 0.75 is 0.25 because this is a radius of 0.25. So from here to here is 0.25. So I'm actually just going to use my handy dandy offset command, and I'm going to do a right click. Oops, I think it's already in there. Yep, 0.25, or just type in 0.25 if it's not in there. And I'm going to offset this circle out. And I'm not going to offset it again in, so we're just going to focus on this outside part. If you look at this outside part, from where this quadrant is, comes straight down that same, I should probably have left the line for a visual. I'm just going to draw a horizontal line out to my circle. So we're going to come over here and do that. So at my quadrant point here, I'm just dragging out a horizontal line to the quadrant of my circle. Same thing up here. There's my arc. See, that's where it's at 0 degree, right? Just drag a vertical line straight to the quadrant of the circle I just created. So from the quadrant to quadrant there. So now I'm going to go ahead and do the offset command again, hit enter because we want the 0.25. And this time I'm going to go to the inside and do the same thing. Here's my line command where this quadrant is, just drag that straight out. So now we have that kind of what I'll call, it's not really a kidney bean, but we'll call it a kidney bean look. So now what I want to do, so I don't have to spend all the time drawing it up here, drawing it over here, drawing it down here. I'm actually going to use my mirror command. I'm going to select all the items I want to mirror. So I'm selecting everything in this area here. I'm going to hit enter, and then it wants to know my mirror line. So that's that cutting line. So if I want to mirror it up here, I'm going to create my cutting line, select here, drag out to the left. And it says erase your source objects. No, we want to keep them. And we're going to do the same thing again. Mirror command. I'm going to select both of them this time, select enter, and I want them on this side. So I'm going to create a cut or a mirror pattern or mirror bend or mirror cut, mirror axis, whatever you wanted to call it. I'm going to call it, select here and just drag it straight down. And now, no, I don't want to get rid of it. There is my mirror command using and duplicating those pieces. The last thing is my polygon. And I'm going to select 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 slides. So hit enter. And this time it's point to point. So that's an inscribed. So I'm going to find the center point of my ellipse. And it's an inscribed. Notice how it's grabbing the point. Make sure you drag the point the correct way, because if I have it up here, the ellipse will be in the wrong direction. And I just want to type in my 0.6, because remember it's from the center to the point, not all the way across the measurement you put in. And there is my polygon. And that's how you complete the slotted ellipse.